Heritage High School, welcome back for part two of our Foundations of Health. So I want to know, how did the homework go? Did you find out what you want? And did you learn why did you want it? Again, you don't need to know the answer right now. Again, some of these questions, what am I doing with the rest of my life? What's going to be my major in college, and am I going to stick with that forever? You don't need to know all that right now. But it's good to write it down, because writing and repetition is the language of the brain. The more you write it down, the more it's going to be in the back of your head, and you're going to be aware and conscious of it. And that's why I really suggest get some post-it notes. Write down a couple of your goals. If you were to see my apartment and even in my gym, I have little post-it notes of goals that I want to accomplish in different areas of my life. So sometimes when I'm struggling at my computer, trying to take a course myself or doing some of my business work, I just look up and see, hey, this is my goal and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I want to reach that goal. So just a little refresher from yesterday. We learned about inspiration versus motivation, and that's why I had you do that homework. Again, it doesn't have to all be done, but just again, keep it in the back of your mind. I want you to know why you want something. And we learned a lot also about health and understanding how the body and mind are directly connected and how they both affect each other. We also learned the power of the breath. We kind of briefly touched up on, again, how stress and anxiety can be elevated if our breathing is very shallow, or again, we're not getting enough oxygen or too much oxygen to the brain. It can cause different types of imbalances, and those inflammatory marks that we saw on those SPECT scans from the Amen Clinic showed you a little bit of that. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper, and we're going to understand how the breath works, and we're going to do a really couple cool things with the mind. And I'm going to show you some really fun exercises, and we're going to have a breathing technique at the end of this, which is going to be your morning breathing technique I want you to practice every day and also during stressful moments. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Foundations of Health. Breathe better, live better. Conscious health for peak performance. Intro to the Mind-Body Connection Part 2. Today we're going to learn about the power of the breath and mind combined. And this is Wim Hof. We briefly talked about him last time. Again, he's broken 26 world records. Here he sat in this basically ice bath for 90 minutes with electrodes, and they studied him. He's probably one of the most sought out people in research right now, and they're doing all different types of studies on the immune system, mental health, and many other things. So just a quick refresher on the triad of health. This direct connection, and when we feel stress, and we know stress, we talked about cortisol last time. That cortisol raises up our inflammatory marks in a lot of different organs, not just that, but it does, again, for our brain, it will directly affect our mental health. So what can we really do about this? So we know that stress can change our physiology. So what if we change our thought pattern in the other direction? This was a really kind of life-changing thought for me, because I've studied this when I was in school and I was studying exercise and rehabilitative sciences. We only learned about the bad stuff. We only learned about the negative, what stress will do to the damage it does to the body. And I always questioned, well, what if we thought in the opposite way? And it wasn't until cancer, again, sometimes it takes a certain lesson to teach us something, that I looked into meditation. I looked into the science behind breathing and mindfulness and what can it do to our body. And I came across a couple Harvard studies on meditation and mindfulness, and this has been going on for decades. But basically, they flew over a bunch of monks from Tibet, and again, they put them in that fMRI machine, and they studied their brain while they meditated. And they could see what gratitude looks like on a brain scan. They can see what, appreciation, empathy. There's a lot of really what I call these like positive trigger words that can actually put our brain in the opposite state that stress does. And we can see these on neurofeedback machines. And that's going to be a really cool thing. I'm going to show you guys my own experience with a neurofeedback machine and how using certain different frequencies and light actually turn my brain from a very stressful state into a focused, relaxed and focused state. And you can actually see that with the two different scans I have. So how do we hack this system? This supercomputer that we have. The physical brain is the hardware. The software is that loop, our thoughts, the story that we tell ourselves, and all the feedback that we give it. That is a software that plays continuously. So how can we go in there and change that? How can we upgrade our system, from the iPhone 3 to this new, iPhone X or iPhone 11 and getting this upgraded iOS system. Because right now, you guys are running, again, brand new hardware with a very old operating system. And that's why it's not working for you. So it's how can we hack our body? How can we make certain improvements and change our thought pattern? One's going to be through the breath. And that's what the Iceman, Wim Hof, is all about. And we are going to be doing his breathing technique. That's going to be in a later lesson. But his whole philosophy is shocking the system. So when you're in the gym, and let's say you're lifting a weight, that is a controlled stress on the muscle. Your brain knows that it's like you're not in immediate danger. There's a tree did not fall on you and you're bench pressing a log off. Your brain knows that that is a controlled stress. And it's okay for us to do this. So it's not sending out a bunch of different signals that we're in danger. Now, when we're mentally stressed, we get those signals because we're creating that fear in our own mind. Now, what this method does is it creates a controlled stress, just like that gym analogy, for your brain mentally. And again, what we do with this is very deep exhales, half exhales, 30 times. Then we push everything out and hold it. Again, we're not doing that today because that's a little bit more of an advanced technique, and we will get to that. But because of this technique, he's been able to do amazing things. They had to change medical textbooks because of the science that's emerged from his studies. A lot of them on the immune system. James Nestor, another pioneer. He is a researcher. We're going to talk about the book Breath a lot. And a lot of the techniques in that book we're going to be doing every week. He was part of the Stanford Medical Studies. Him and another person who is the owner of Conscious Breathing, basically what they did for 10 days, they locked up their nose and they forced them to mouth breathe for 10 days straight. And before they did all blood work, heart rate, every test you can imagine. And after 10 days of mouth breathing, the sleep apnea, snoring, heart rate went up, blood pressure went up, everything you can think of, their mental health drastically dropped. And for the next 10 days, what they did, they opened up the nasal passages, they allowed them to nasal breathe versus mouth breathe, and just by doing that, all their numbers went back down. And again, just the power of having the right balance of oxygen and CO2 for our brain makes all the difference in the world. So, demystifying meditation. What people think it is. This is a subject that I did not really get into this until very recently, over the last couple of years, because I could never sit down for more than 30 seconds at a time and sit still. It was just not a thing with my, ADD and all my anxiety. I was like, boom, I could not do that. But I had to train myself. But I started with the breathing. And, when I really learned what meditation was, it's just being present. When we're in the future, that's what causes a lot of anxieties. We're thinking of stories that haven't even happened. We're creating these scenarios in our head. And a lot of times, depression is living in the past. We're mad at ourselves because we didn't do this or we didn't do that, or maybe this relationship didn't work out, or a lot of different things. But it's about being present in the current moment and being able to calm your mind down and just being able to sit with yourself. Being able to be okay with being yourself. So, form of meditation is just counting your breath. Again, we're not going to sit down here and do a bunch of crazy things. We're literally just going to count our breath. And that is the most simplest thing that we can do. So exercise 1, the box breathing. The 4-4-4-4, 4 squared as I call it. We're going to inhale for 4, hold it for 4, exhale for 4, and hold for 4. And I want you to do that with your nose, the best that you can. Again, I've had congestion most of my life, and I always thought it was allergies or this and that, but honestly, it is because of an imbalance in my brain. And once I opened up my nasal passages through some of the techniques we'll be doing, I can nasal breathe 24/7, and that's like even my sleep. I've cured my sleep apnea and my snoring because of my ability to now breathe through my nose. And again, it's an incredible thing that's actually changed my life, and that's why I want to share this with you. So we're going to do a couple of these together right now. So when I give you the go, we are going to count to 4, and we are going to inhale through our nose. So I'll say inhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4, exhale 2, 3, 4, hold 2, 3, 4. And then we repeat. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and I want you to practice this one with me. Because whenever you're feeling stress, whenever you feel like anxiety, just breathe. Just count your breath. Close your eyes and count your breath. It's a very simple technique. So let's go ahead and give it a try. So on the count of 3, we're going to start the inhale. Then we'll hold, exhale, and hold, and we're going to repeat that 3 times, okay? So in 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. One more time. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. And you can repeat this however many times that you need. Now, obviously, I was mouth breathing because I had to talk with you guys. But here's the thing. It is okay to exhale through your mouth. Preferably, if you can inhale, exhale through your nose, that's perfect. But if you need to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth to start, that's perfectly fine. Because I'm going to teach you guys alternative nostril breathing, air hunger drills. The Wim Hof will open up your nasal passages right away. And it's because we're doing that controlled stress to the brain, and we're going to open that right up. So, we're going to be exploring a lot of different areas of science and medicine. There's a lot of great books. I'm going to be bringing actually a great guest speaker, the bod mechanic, Dr. Andreas Soltis. He is one of the world's leading experts on neurobiomechanics. We work with him directly. So there's a lot of really great stuff I'm going to be bringing to you guys and understanding the brain. And these are, again, different pioneers in these fields. And it's like they're thinking outside of the box. Everything that we do today is all evidence and science based. I will have these resources for you. The links will be in the presentation. You can go to Breath by James Nestor. You can go to his website, and the link there I'm going to give you, it has over 500 medical references. A lot of these are extremely well thought out. And again, these are people who have struggled with these issues, and they went out and found solutions. And they literally, some of them traveled around the world to find all these amazing different things. And that's what I'm going to share with you guys. So please join me live Friday at 4 p.m. There's the Zoom link. You can follow me on Instagram. I will be going live there as well. And bring the homework with you. Again, what you want, why you want it. I want you to use the 5-second rule at least once a day and write down what happened. And I'm adding one last thing. When you feel stressed out or have anxiety, box breathe. Box breathe and just make mental note. Now I'm going to be giving you the tools later on how we can take a stressful situation and bring it down. How can we respond differently to that stress signal or that anxiety? And that's going to be in a couple of future lessons. But I want you all to know that I am here to chat. I'm here to talk. So again, anything you guys need, I'd be more than happy to help out. You can reach out to me on social media, send me an email. I'm here to help. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you got value out of these 2 lessons. And again, these are tools for you to have at your disposal. Next week, we're going to be going deeper into the breathing. We are going to learn the Wim Hof breathing, and I'm also going to teach you how to build the super brain with Jim Kwik. So, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your week and weekend. I will catch you next week.